cog. Alright, yep, that's okay. They're mono black aggro. My Chocobo is basically a 2/3, which can at least stop the miner from attacking here. Icetill, however, is continuing to deal damage, but at the moment it deals equally amount damage back to the opponent, so that's not a big problem for me actually at the moment. I'm more worried about its death touch. Next turn I can't play this, I can't play this, so I'll just have to play an elves. An elf. Oh, interesting choice there, but that means I'm gonna have to take the damage. Forest. Just play the elves and another expanse here. Do I stay on the defense? I think I do, because if I attack here, then next turn their Cecil's gonna flip potentially, unless I chump block with the elves. But at the same time, I also want to keep the miner in check as well. So I think this is the best way to go about it. I'm gonna have to find a kind of a moment where I can counter attack. So, Sazh Chocobo, it's all on you, my friend. My little one. Let's see how they attack. Just with the Sazh. Sure. This deals 3 to the opponent as well, and it's not flipping yet, so they're 12. They have very good blocking options. Grab 1 red. I can use the Worldsoul Rage to kill this by discarding another land as well in the process. But am I gonna get through enough damage? I don't think so. I'm gonna no. It's the better play here. Let's go like this. Do I have... Yeah, so X equals 2 so that I can put more lands on the battlefield. I'll discard the Chocobo, actually. attack for 7. And now I'm gonna chump block the Cecil so that it doesn't flip with the elves. Now if they can get rid of the elves and then Cecil flips, etc., that's changes. Well, no, but Cecil flips, but then they're at 2. And the lifelink, and then it's... No, but it's not tapped. Then they'll have an untapped 4/4 lifelink creature. So that's the kind of situation here. So Sazh's Chocobo, really... Everything's counting on you. Oh, now, oh, they even, oh, it does flip still. Oh my god, then, okay, but still, I'm, okay. Ugh, how am I gonna get rid of her? How am I gonna get rid of her? Well, now I'm just gonna attack through her. Oh my god, sheltered by ghosts. Alright, well, this is pretty cool, though. So this Hydra was good. And it's huge. It's gonna be huge. Okay, everything gets indestructible out here, so I'll block Cecil. More damage. I need some landfall triggers. Do they have a kill spell? Let's just go the full. Okay, they got me down to 2. They're back at 11, but my Trampler is now around, so can they deal... That's amazing. No, it's not. It's not. It's way not enough. I'm still gonna trample all over the place. Additional land, so I can play here and... Okay. Yep, that was a good game. And I think, unless the opponent has a instant kill spell here, I will lose. Otherwise, they will lose. Greatness at any cost. Yep. All right. So the Hydra will die in the process, but take down Cecil and the opponent down with her. So thanks to Trample. So yep, that Mossborn Hydra. The Chocobo did the early groundwork and the Hydra took over the big finish there. But yeah, well played by the opponent, I must say. They also were in a difficult spot because they lost a lot of life to Cecil in the early game, but also kind of got me down to 2. So yeah, that was definitely a good game, close game. Gruul Landfall, game 1 victory. Gruul Landfall versus Crafty Liebknecht. Yeah. One second, let me check. Alright, camera didn't crash. Sometimes my camera crashes, which is annoying. Okay, what am I gonna go for here, though? Yeah, let's go for the Chocobo. I know they could maybe burn down here, but... Okay. Definitely artifacts, but it's not Azorius. Right, another forest. Play this? No, what am I talking about? Let's play this. Now, do I need to be afraid of overextending? The opponent seems to be it, but... Okay. Yeah, that's a good combination. What does that kill? Target art. Oh, they're taking that. Oh, interesting. Well, that's good. That's actually good for me. That's very good for me. So I'm gonna now do this. And I should take that from the library. But okay. Well, I can shuffle now. But yeah, I should have taken that. Just gotta land off the deck. And I should have fetched a mountain. So that's super sloppy. But let's see if the opponent can deal with it nonetheless. So yeah, that was sorry for that. I could have gotten the land out of the deck, and I should have fetched red for the Worldsoul Rage. That's unacceptable. But okay, it is what it is. The opponent needs to deal with at least one of these creatures, though. So will I be punished for my spot? Yes, maybe yes. Okay. But I think this should be fine nonetheless. Let's attack first. Block. Yep. And we play the Hydra and keep up the state. No, don't want to make any more mistakes than I already done in this game, because that was... Ooh, they can make copies of the Dark Rose. Okay, I see. Repurposing Bay, alright. Repurpose that. Okay. Let's see what they get. 3. Alright, let's use the Veil. There's a land up top, and there we go. Now that's gonna see. Alright, so yeah, despite my clumsiness there, still able to emerge victorious. I must admit, I haven't played this deck that much. I still need to get used to the Traveling Chocobo revealing the top card and lands being an option there. So, really sorry about that, but uncensored, uncut. I know I make mistakes sometimes, but I make them so you don't have to. And so let's keep playing. Azorius Control. Sorry. Gruul Landfall versus the virtuous Sergio Benitez. Alright, we'll keep it. I need to get my brain in order here today. I think a little lack of sleep here. But let's focus on Gruul and on the landfalling. So what do we want to do here? Let's play this. So they are Azorius, so they might have a sweeper. However, I still want to play both Chocobos here. That's kind of my initial pressure. This will get red so that I have these available, especially now that I have 2 to attack. And before damage, we'll get the red so I can deal a little bit more damage here right off the bat. Okay. And next, I could even just roll. No, I can't. For 0, that doesn't make sense. They gotta heal this. Oh, that was a good draw, actually. So here we go. Let's go with the Chocobo here. I want to use this post Armageddon. Alright, let's look what's on the top of the deck first. A land. Perfect. Now, do I want to use the Worldsoul Rage here in some form or another? There's only 1 land around, so... But it will deal significantly more damage. However, with the opponent having so much mana up, I'm not going to do it. I'd rather do it in the turn where I also have the Snakeskin Veil. So for now, this is what I'm going to leave. So I'm basically not using my mana here, unfortunately. But yeah, this is something I expected. Let's go with the Hydra first. Play a land, and then have the Snakeskin Veil around. Now, if they have another sweeper, I'm in trouble. If they do not, then they are in trouble, I would say here. Oh, a Shiko. Okay. That's actually not too bad. They're going to go for the Helix. Yep. They're going to target the Hydra. I'm going to Snakeskin it. Okay, so, I can only do 3 damage with this. And how many lands are there I can get back? Only 1, so I might as well... The Worldsoul Rage... Okay, let me... I will only get 1 land, but it's and it's going to enter tapped, right? On the battlefield tapped, but this one doesn't make them play tapped into enter play tapped. So this is better, I think. That's actually pretty good. They're fully tapped out. I think I'm winning. Oh no, I can't fetch another mountain. I only have 1 mountain in the deck. That's really unfortunate here. But I think, yeah, okay, it's still enough. I was thinking about now that I have so many lands, I could even Worldstorm here. But, alright, Hydra doing it again. And so yeah, going for the Icetill was the right choice there. Playing an extra, being able to play an extra land and actually milled into a land as well. So, all right, yeah, the Mossborn Hydra really the MVP here. And why? Well, it doubles counters every time a land enters, which is already, it makes it huge so fast, but also trample. Without trample, this wouldn't have gone. You know, the opponent could have had another turn here to sweep or anything else. But all right, another victory for Gruul Landfall. Gruul Landfall versus the virtuous Ricardo Coscia. A lot of lands, but this is a landfall deck. However, this thing needs to be protected at all costs. So I might consider, and I'm considering, yeah, they're red, so I'm considering it for sure. To play the elves first. Yeah, absolutely. I want my Chocobo protected by a Snakeskin Veil. And the elves are actually pretty good here to get in the way of the goblin here. Yeah, exactly. Now I'll play the Chocobo and protect it with the Snakeskin Veil. And next turn, the Bill, and then play a land and protect any creature with Snakeskin Veil. So here we go. This means I will take another hit here. from the Empire Challenger. They can burn in response, but then it's less burn at my face. Sure. Alright. So now, but yeah. Okay, an expanse, sure. However, I think do I want the elves is the question. I can make them into a 2/2. Or I can just go for the expanse and make this a 4/4. No, I can't make them 2/2s. I can only make this a 3/3 and then have a 1/1 blocker. I think I'm gonna do that. Do need to hold off of the damage. Alright, that's okay. Okay, so it's gonna be down, it's gonna come. I'm glad I played the elves here now. But we are in full. I need to, unfortunately I need to keep this spine thrower on the defense here. But I'm also in burn rage, so this is going to be a tough one. Like, the opponent is relentless. Alright, that's good news. Let's go for red. Alright, a Worldsoul Rage. That's pretty nice. Let's definitely use this so I can get more lands. A Rage for 3. Oh, that's gonna be close. That's close, but let's do it. Can they trigger prowess twice? That's the question. Are both the cards okay? They can. Oh, I could have put the forest as well. I could have put the forest as well. Because you can choose from graveyard and or hand, so that was a slight mishap there. But okay, next turn the opponent should be dead, yeah, because I can use the ability here. But I'm at 8, so yeah, there's number 1. There's a nemesis. Oh, okie dokie. However, my guy doesn't trample, so when I attack, they block, they'll deal... No. No. Let's start throwing the Chocobo. Alright, unfortunately, if I can't attack, it's impossible. I will just commit suicide. So I'm at 1. I'm at 1. And there we go. Yeah, Boros aggro is just it's too much of a combination of insanely efficient creatures with haste. Or not, but just insanely efficient creatures, some of them with haste. The Nemesis, which is it's just crazy overall. What? Hey, wait, what's going on? What is going on? can I get rid of the Nemesis? I think they're even just playing with me. A Hydra. But if I... No, I can't. Oh, wait. When does this happen? What? I think I might win. Yeah, I think they're dead first. And yes, yes, exactly. So the opponent actually had me. The opponent in the previous turn, all they needed to do. Oh no, no, they didn't, because if they attacked with the Hydra and I blocked with the Chocobo, then the Chocobo would be deal 2 at me, because at the time it was a 2 something, I think, and then I would be still at 1. So okay, wow. That was close and unexpected that I would emerge victorious there. But yeah, never give up hope, try. And now it's also good to know the trigger. If you kill the opponent during the attack, the Screaming Nemesis trigger, where it is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any other target, doesn't go on the stack anymore because the opponent's life total is already... The game's basically already over before the trigger is allowed to even enter the stack. So that was something useful here, learned. And yeah, I'm super happy about that victory. Gruul Landfall versus the Fervent Satopo. Yes. I play the Elves. What does that mean for next turn? I can... No, I'll go with the Chocobo here. It's just... the most efficient way of gaining counters here. Starting town. Alright, they're going for Eternities. Now with this, I can actually play the Bill or the Tifa. Actually, I'm going to play Tifa. And then next turn, I'll Bill and then play the Escape Tunnel. And then things should already start looking pretty good. So let's see how the opponent interacts here. Sorry. So the idea is to play the Bill next turn, and then play the Escape Tunnel, put counters on Tifa, and then she also doubles her power, and then she will grow quite significantly already on the next turn. Now the opponent is blue and green. Alright, okay, bounce. Interesting. Okay. Bouncing now, even immediately. Sure. Okay, so let's go for the... I can just go for Tifa again. Just play this. My Chocobo will be big enough to get past the fungus. And I can still kind of set up a little bit for my build. A fungus artifact or enchantment, okay. Full price? No. That doesn't work, of course, even with the elves around. Okay, I don't want to crack that now. Definitely not. Let's play Bill first. Play Bill first, then a Fabled Passage. Bill's... Okay. Yeah, so Those two lands will deal so much damage here. Bill will put the counters on the Tifa before the trigger, and she will become a 2/3, and then the power will be doubled to 4, and then I can trigger another. Then the Fabled Passage will fetch a land, the whole thing will happen again, and then the Terramorphic Expanse. So this trampling Tifa would probably deal in even, I'm not sure how much exactly, I'm not going to do the math, but it would have been a lot, if not already lethal. So, all right, Gruul, Landfall, really on a roll today here. 5 games, 5 wins. Now, I do apologize especially the first game, I think it was, where I did make, or the second game, not sure, where I did make some obvious mistakes. But as you know me, I play uncensored, uncut. I learn, you learn, and we just have fun playing Magic, because that's all that matters. On to the recap. So, Gruul, Landfall. Let's mix these cards up a little bit so we can categorize them a little bit. Let's not go too far here, though. Okay, this is fine. So, what do we have? What does this deck do? Well, it's Landfall deck. So, what do we have? We have the almost max amount of kind of Evolving Wilds effects, where you play the land, you get a landfall trigger, and then you fetch a land and you get another landfall trigger. So these are the ones that really enable everything this deck does. So these are absolutely key, no discussion about it. Then you have the creatures that benefit from the landfall, and basically all of them just grow and is with one-on-one counters, except Tifa, who doubles her power until end of turn. So she's a little bit different, but the Chocobo, the Bristly Bill, and the Hydra all gain counters, where in the Bristly Bill can even decide where to put the counters. So that's that. For Bristly Bill, I would always put on Tifa if you have her. Otherwise, everything else is fine. Why Tifa? Because when the more counters she has, the more benefit she gets from her power doubling, and she has trample, which is key. Then you have the elves to kind of just act as a little bit of a ramp, because a lot of lands are tapped, so that's kind of a way to mitigate that a little bit and get to your 3 to 4 mana, which is more than that's basically what you need. Earlier, you have the 4 Snakeskin Veils to protect against spot removal. This is absolutely crucial as well, because often that one spot removal or not being protected, or protecting your creature once, is enough to push through the damage. That's because that's what you want to be doing. Tifa and Hydra are just, they grow exponentially, like they get huge fast, so there you have that. Then you have a few utility cards. The Traveling Chocobo works mainly with the Sazh Chocobo, where the landfall triggers, it gets 2 counters instead of 1 every time you play a land, and land enters the battlefield. But at the same time, you can also look at the top card of your library and bird spells, so you can play the Sazh Chocobo. But more importantly, actually lands. So you can find lands with this thing. And the Icetill Explorer does it similarly, but differently, because it grabs them from the graveyard. So you can play lands from your graveyard, and you can play an additional land each turn. So if you play this in the mid game, it's usually like when you already have a few landfall creatures, this is just gonna make them trigger way more times, and then you push through for them damage. And then you have the pretty important and the only red card here, the Worldsoul's Rage. And what this does is it deals X damage to any target, so you can throw damage at the opponent's face or kill one of their creatures. And the most important thing here is, or equally important than the damage that is dealt, is you can put X land cards from your hand or the graveyard onto the battlefield tapped. So you just trigger, many landfalls. You'll surely have 2 or 3, or let's say between 1 and 3 of these fetch lands in your graveyard to get back. And then you just trigger, and try to push through the damage past blockers, or just ping the opponent's face as well. So this deck is pretty straightforward, pretty simple. The plan is very streamlined and synergized very well, and it's a good mix, and it's up there in the meta. Today's run was also very successful. So if you are looking for a deck to play and you like landfalling and playing a few aggressive creatures but not being mono red, then maybe this is a deck for you to consider. But otherwise, it's always good to know how this deck works when you play against it, because it is definitely around in the meta, and you're gonna come across opponents playing this deck very frequently. All right, so let's see what we have. So Tifa, let's get to know Tifa. I'm pretty good at taking care of myself, you know. I believe you, Tifa. And on that note, thanks for watching. Have fun. See you in the arena. And peace.